Alright, so what's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Now, just a couple hours ago, we got the official Modern Warfare 2 reveal trailer. Now, I'm not going to play it on this video or anything because, I'm most likely going to get some kind of copyright, thing on my channel. I don't want that, really. But the trailer was around about, I think, 2 minutes long, or I think it was just under 2 minutes long. And honestly, it's a pretty decent trailer, and not to discredit this trailer or anything, but I think the Modern Warfare 2019 one was better. So there's a lot to talk about with Modern Warfare 2, and from the trailer itself, I'm sure I could go through here and sit and break down the trailer and talk about all the little details, but I'm not about that really. I like to just sort of talk about my thoughts, opinions as it comes to me, sort of thing. So, the trailer itself was pretty good. It had some cool music in the background, and it had... Fuck off, I'm playing Piccadilly, holy shit. It had some cool music in the background, and it was basically just showing off loads of different scenes. There wasn't really any stitched together sort of story. There was... I remember General Shepard had a line at the start. We see a lot of TF141. We see Ghost with NVGs, which I want to put a screenshot on screen, because honestly... Oh, it's beautiful. It looks so cool, but... yeah, in terms of all the other stuff, it looks like there's a lot more focus on NVGs than Modern Warfare 2019, or at least they're carrying it on, which I think is very cool. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have a lot to say about the trailer itself. I mean, it shows off Modern Warfare 2. I'd recommend go watching because it is very cool. Yeah, there's not really a lot of details to get from that. The details come from the, well, from them themselves, obviously, but also from the different content creators which got to go out and see the game. The first thing I want to talk about is the sort of design philosophy that Infinity Ward are going for this year. Obviously with Modern Warfare 2019, everyone knows now, really. Their design philosophy was sort of more camper-based. They wanted to promote a sort of slower play style with the game. Playing it nowadays, and especially on the map like Shoot House like I'm playing now, it definitely doesn't feel that way. It feels very sort of rusher friendly, but I feel like that's just sort of how we've adapted the game over time. The design philosophy was very much a camping play style. They mentioned that they want to keep all play styles in mind, so obviously when they're building a map, they want to keep in mind people who want to camp and lock places down, people who like to rush and run around the map, that kind of stuff. It seems like this year they're actually taking everyone into account instead of just campers, which is great. They didn't really talk much more about the maps other than that we have the core maps, I think they're called, which is like your 6v6, just your standard Call of Duty maps, and we also have battle maps, which are the much larger ones. They're going to be focused on like ground war and whatever kind of other modes they have, that kind of stuff. That's about all they said for maps though. Next thing I want to talk about is swimming in, I think, both multiplayer and Warzone. Obviously it's sort of a meme in Warzone. You can't really, a trained soldier can't swim. If they touch water, they just die. It's sort of weird. So I think that's one of the main things that they took from that game and they put it in this game. They're not only just going to let you sort of swim and sort of do what the Black Ops games do, where you just swim. They're actually thinking of gameplay implications. The main thing is with Black Ops games is that when you shoot underwater, it's pretty much as if you're shooting on the mainland. But with this game, it's not going to be the exact same. So obviously, the water that you're shooting in affects your bullet velocity, both shooting inwards and outwards of it. And not only that, the water is also going to be used as a bit of an escape route as well. So let's say you get shot at and there's like a lake or something next to you. You can jump into that, and obviously the bullets will be affected by the water. Not only that, but it's also going to be a lot harder to see the deeper you go. So it does sound like the water has a bit of depth to it as well. It's not really going to be used as a gunfight sort of thing. It's not going to be used as an offensive strategy. So let's say, for example, you can't just sit in the water and shoot people out of it when people can't see you, something like that. I don't even think you can use your primary while you're swimming, so you don't really need to worry about that. Sorry, only pistols and melee weapons can be used underwater. That can obviously change, but the whole thing with the bullet velocity in that is still affected by it. So if you're shooting into the water, it's not going to be as effective as previous games. Dolphin diving is coming back in Modern Warfare, which is kind of weird because I don't think we've ever had dolphin diving in a an Infinity Ward game. It's usually just a Black Ops thing, but that's coming back this year. Not only that, it's going to be alongside sliding. Now, I'm not sure how that works exactly, but somehow those two are going to be able to coincide with each other, which is very cool to see. Another feature as well is ledge hanging. So let's say with this ledge here, I could jump up here, and I wouldn't just, auto mantle up, which has been the thing for years now. Because let's say here, I just get up straight away. But with the way it's going to work in this new game, basically you could be able to jump on the ledge, and you sort of be able to sit in the middle and sort of hang on to the ledge, and then shoot as if, let's say you're on a ladder in Modern Warfare 2019, you can shoot off that ladder as well. So it just gives some more sort of parkour options, some more gameplay options, it's pretty cool. You can also hang onto the ledge and peek it. So let's say, I don't know, you jump from a ladder onto a window ledge. You can hang from the window ledge and let's say peek into the window, see in the building if there's someone there. If there is, you can shoot them with the pistol or mantle up and then shoot them from there. Once again, it just adds more gameplay options. And probably the best part of this actually as well is if you're, let's say with Warzone, you'll parachute in. Let's say with this current one, you miss the ledge, or like let's say you miss the roof of a building, something like that. You'll just smack into the wall and fall down or parachute or whatever. But with this new one, you'll be able to smack into that. You'll be able to grab onto the ledge and pull yourself up or maybe shoot from the ledge. You know, it adds a lot of more versatility, let's say, with the gameplay. It seems like there's a lot more vehicle gameplay. There seems to be a lot more of a focus on the vehicles for Modern Warfare and Warzone, they say, sorry. So it makes you, that sort of confirms that not only for DMZ, I'd assume, but also for Ground War, that's going to be coming back. So there's a lot of things you can do. You can lean out windows, you can climb onto the vehicle roofs, you can knock off doors, shoot out tires. There's even, you can heal the vehicles at gas stations. It's not going to necessarily, you know, just have petrol, but it's going to be like you can heal your vehicles at the petrol stations. There's also a helicopter troop carrier, which has two side doors and a back door. And basically, I think the driver can just hop in and out of that. And the people can just sort of like walk into the back of it and you can just fly the helicopter and just run around in it. That's pretty cool. Some other things I want to talk about as well is we have some new field upgrades. So the first one is the tactical camera field upgrade. They talk about Valkyrie from Rainbow Six Siege. I'm not sure if anyone watching this plays Siege. It also reminds me of Black Ops 1 with the tactical camera. Now, I'm not sure if this is something you can throw or something you can plant on the ground or maybe both. I'd assume this is going to be more useful in one life modes. I'd say probably DMZ and even S&D. It is confirmed that you can't, like Siege, spectate the cameras once you're dead. So it's sort of like, you know, only the live players or maybe even the person that put it down can spectate the camera. There's also a DDoS field upgrade. Yes, you can actually DDoS people in Modern Warfare 2. It's pretty much just an EMP device, not really much to say about that. And there's also the inflatable decoy field upgrade, which they sort of compare to the sprays you could use to Modern Warfare 2019, where people would think that it's a person. Imagine that, but 3D, basically. It's like an inflatable, like, I don't know if it's going to have the physicality of a person, or if it's just going to be like a dummy thing. But basically, that's something you can use. You're gonna be able to throw that. Apparently, it's gonna act as sort of like a mine as well, and it also have like trigger things. So if somebody runs into it, then it will sort of alert you to their presence. There's no lethal, which is the drill charge. Now, once again, if you play Rainbow Six Siege, if you know Fuse, you'll be able to use it sort of like that. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to do that on like any walls. So could I just walk up to this wall here, put it on there, or is it like certain walls? I'm not really sure how that works exactly. Now, the final thing I'm going to talk about in today's video, because this is going to be quite a long video if I talk about any more, but the one I talk about is the gunsmith. Now, this is sort of like an evolved version of the gunsmith. It's not just like Cold War and Vanguard where they just copy and paste it over. This sounds like a real evolution to the gunsmith. It sounds insane. So we're not sure exactly how many attachments you can equip to a certain gun. I'm not sure if a certain YouTuber's gone out and said it, but from what I've heard from FaZe Jev, he said that there's a 3 of 3 selected things, so I'm not sure if that is directly linked to the amount of attachments you have or something else entirely. I'm not too sure. I think in total there's 10 attachment slots, so I think Modern Warfare has 8 or something. You can only equip 5 attachments. With Modern Warfare 2, it sounds like there's 10 actual slots, but how many attachments you can equip is sort of a mystery at the moment. And you're going to be able to have a list of things. So it's going to be similar to the OG gunsmith, where let's say you have your sights. You know, you just be able to pick your sights. Let's say with probably your ammunition type, you probably just pick from a list from your ammunition. However, things like your barrel, I think is the one example they used. There's actually going to be sliders where you can adjust the length and the weight of your barrels. So the way I perceive this is you'll have a option to have a heavier barrel. So that would probably influence your accuracy. So your you know, your recoil, that kind of stuff. And then you probably also have, I think there's also a length one, so you can increase or decrease your range. Now, I'm not sure if they are 2 separate sliders or if it's just sort of like, if you increase your range, you increase your accuracy or something like that. But essentially, you're going to be able to absolutely fine-tune your attachments, like, to the max. So, I'm not sure if you can be able to pick a certain barrel, then fine-tune it, or if it's just, like, fine-tune your barrel. But the way that it sounds, these attachment, best attachments videos and best class setups, they're going to be insanely detailed, like ridiculous levels. Like you'll be able to have like maybe 5+ attachments, and then you're going to use different sliders on different attachments as well. It sounds nuts. Now this in theory is a very good idea because it adds more complexity. But at the same time, one thing Vinterworld was saying from this presentation is they wanted to keep things relatively simple. They didn't want to have an overly complicated system, but then they're talking about having sliders for your attachments. So I'm not really sure, how in-depth it's going to be. Obviously, we don't know yet. It's just sort of being told to us. We don't really experience it yet. Obviously, if we get more details in the future, or from the gameplay we get tomorrow, actually, I don't know if they're going to go more in-depth with this or not. Or maybe we'll have to wait till the beta to see how it fully works. But we're just gonna have to wait and see on details to see if it is really complex or what the deal is with that. But yeah, that's everything I want to talk about with Modern Warfare 2. There's stuff with the campaign as well I could talk about with our Task Force 141, Laswell Shepherd being in it, that kind of stuff. But honestly, I just want to talk about the stuff that people probably care about the most, the multiplayer stuff. I personally am really looking forward to the campaign. I might even do some kind of playthrough on it. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say for today. That's, I think, most of the important details that we got for Modern Warfare 2 2022. Yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you are around here. Gameplay breakdown review thing coming tomorrow at some point. I can't wait. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.